I mean, just look at how beautifully scuffed these trees look. No, the typical foliage problem that everything has stuff that is super slim. Man, what's next? Yes, the story bits, right? So, I absolutely hate the colonel. I sort of uncountable times did I say he found his jacket in a dumpster. Like, I don't understand how someone like him can even rise up that high in ranks of the military. He is talking so much bullshit. I cannot even imagine a group of people that would listen to his kind of words. And I have seen a lot of those BS preachers, those American Christian preachers, you know, that also say a lot of hot air and try to sell it to you. But he was one step extra at every step of the way. It was so annoying to listen to him. Props though to the guy that was doing the animation work for him, because he really went for the fields when he emoted on the executioner post. You know, he really gave it his all to support the speech with his bodily motions and everything. It's, bruh, it annoyed the ever-loving shit out of me. And it was written to do that, so... Or at least I would guess that's the only way it can be reasoned or described as that it's this annoying. I can't even believe that he would gather this big of a following with these hot-aired words. Because the theme these post-apocalyptic games often have is that that people become distrusting. And a lot of this hot air selling instantly falls off. So I don't see a single word where his words would work. It's so off. It's so weird. It's just like Schizo. But at least Schizo kinda makes sense because of Iron Mike. I don't think Schizo should ever been in charge of security. You know, like, you could pick anyone else, and that guy would be more trustworthy than Schizo. But Schizo would have worked even if he wasn't in a leadership position. He would have okay, there would need a tiny bit of dialogue change, maybe, and a little bit of a rewrite. There's not that much that needs to be rewritten. You can have the events and stuff follow out the same way. But what was bad for him and his writing was always this reappealing to Iron Mike that everything was my fault. But someone in leadership position wouldn't do that. At least wouldn't use his wannabe street gangster dialogue. It just makes no sense. And the colonel is, it's like I said, he sells so much hot air. It's unbelievable that they try to sell me a character like that is able to have everyone work on his words. maybe I don't see the anger really that he is a military officer. Even the game at the end said, yeah, a lot of what the colonel was doing was good, but his endgame was kinda bad. But that is not enough for me. I usually preach similar words. That, I mean, even in history, we have those words. The old saying of yin and yang, those that black and white blob that go in a circle and each have the opposite color in them. You know, in every darkness there's a little bit of light, and in every light there's a little bit of darkness. But then think about, what was the colonel? Was he just too much light, and when his darkness came, he just lost his shit? But if he really was believing that much what he was preaching, like how can the death of his beloved doctor be? How can it shake him that much? Often in stories, when a leadership strong believer or fanatic loses their loved one, they see it as a test. You know, a test of faith. Why is the suffering of the world weighing on them? But this preacher just went AWOL. He suddenly saw everyone that wasn't in this camp as his enemy. I really liked the captain. The captain was probably one of the best written characters in this entire game, because he was a side character. He was not the main one, but there was so much attention to detail in his character. In general, every character in this game has great amounts of little nuances, how they look at things, what was it when Boozer lost his arm, and he got on Deacon's bike, that scene, and he was smiling because he had his blades. I think it was the bladed arm, or was he still having the hook? I don't know. And then he was proud of what he had, but then when he got on Deacon's bike, he realized that he would never be driving again, and instantly his face went from a happy little child to this grim realization that he will never drive again. And Curry had a lot of these same things. I said it today, but have to put it here since this is the summary of everything. When Deacon and Curry first met, or was it even after their first job, they were constantly talking, and Curry was giving him so many infos about what they are about, what they are doing, why they are doing, and it made sense since he was giving a recruiting speech. Not really a speech, because it was more personal, more individualized, It was a man-to-man talk. So when Deacon decided to dodge all of his questions, I found that so cute. That was one of the coolest thing in all of the game, because being suspicious, especially in these times, is absolutely normal. and that Deacon has the brain cells um, of being not an open book like Schizo was
Hey, welcome back.
definitely the right call.
What the hell
Sure,
is the name of the character?
the captain was more Captain Curry was more trustworthy than the colonel, but did this kill 50 million times, but still can't do it right. Feels bad, man. Oh, wait, it's getting daytime anyways. Um, but when they talked
Back to
about
work already.
their
I'll make it tell
wives,
you
or
again.
Cory tried to loosen Deacon up about his wife and stuff. Like, it was the right call by Deacon to be as deflective as possible. It was like, you don't just give everyone the position of the camps you were previously in. Now you need to feel them out to see what they are about. Because so many times people just got abducted and interrogated to find out where the camp of Hot Spring
Hey, I'll be back.
or Lost Lake or Copeland's camp are. And we had to free them. So we knew that. And then when yeah, so we had a lot of pre-story. We had a lot of experience of that happening to others. So we had good reason to always stay at the cautious end. And just a scene when we went out with Sarah and had our first time where we could finally talk, and Cory saw how we interacted with each other. She was even giving me a kiss when before going back to work, and you in that moment I understood that Cory was someone trustworthy. Everything he said he believed in, and he didn't felt really betrayed, but he felt lied to. You know, he understood at that moment that they had history, um, and could piece all of the pieces together. He just never forced us to talk to him about it. Uh, so that, like, imagine a world where Cory would have came to us and told us, "Hey, you and Sarah are shagging, right?" Or that is the your wife from before. Like, Deacon would have been so extremely uneasy about that. He would, yeah, it would shake him and irritate him through the entire storyline that Curry could spill the beans to the colonel. But I believe he would have never spilled those beans. But yeah, Curry had a lot of strong character moments that were sudden, that weren't always as obvious, but they all came together in the last act when he saved us from the rope. So that is incredibly cool. I will not talk about every character in this, since, man, It's so exhausting talking for so long. Sorry about that, but I always do these in one pieces. Uh, uh, should I really talk about the Rippers? Because I believe the Rippers are really dope, you know? They fit the story quite well. There's nothing too much to criticize. They're a bit too extreme, in my opinion, but then that is completely okay because it's an agitating factor, you know. And every story needs an agitating factor every now and then. But then when it escalated with Iron Mike and everything, there's so much to recap that just simply works.
Deer crossing. Some things never change. I gotta reload.
You know, the extreme violence. Like, the only thing I don't like about the Ripper is when we found Williams. You know, the leader of the Rippers. That is the only thing I didn't like because this. We don't know what the story before is or was.
There we go. Come on.
And what is there really to say about the Rippers? There's this atypical spooky element that each horror segment needs. It's quite easy to get points in that regard. To just have this spooky element, this unreasonable hatred towards something. And so everyone can just join a union. But I didn't think this union would be happening. So yeah. I didn't like the torture scene, but then again it's a torture scene. You are not supposed to like that in any way. Yeah. Like, who really enjoys torture, huh? Let's keep it a buck. But yeah, Rippers. They were there. They were an interesting enemy, and now they are greatly reduced. The thing that doesn't really fit the Reaper theme is that they are on drugs, and that is why they don't feel the pain where they cut themselves and everything. Like, I don't really know what to make of that, since this is post-apocalyptic. Who is really making drugs these days, you know? I think this is also nice. That really the hordes that I haven't done, the camps I haven't done, are now listed on the map. That is incredibly nice for completionists and stuff. I wonder if there is a sniper rifle I would get by killing this one last thing. Yeah. Man, that second map had so many bugs and glitches. In general, this game is pretty much glitch and bug free. Or at least everything feels like intended. Weird, sounds so weird. Everything here feels like intended. Besides the second map, where we suddenly had so many glitches and bugs. And that needed a lot more QA. Oh, it's that bug that deer that made those noises. Look at him go, derping around, yeah, and despawning, nice. Yeah. The thing I hate the most about this game is that you are free in the overworld to always quick save. You can quick save at any moment in time as long as you are close to your bed or your bike. When I first started this game, I was rolling down that one hill. Where is it? I think it was here. We were coming down this way, and I'm supposed to get in here and clear that thing up. And I wasn't able to save through the menu. But I was able to click the button, yes. But each time I did it, it would still teleport me back to the what's it called? To the checkpoint. And I would have to start the mission all over again. All the enemies would be respawned. But the one thing that would change when I save was my inventory. So I would have less bullets, less durability. But in that moment, me personally, I wasn't affected since I would go stealth kill about anyone I can. So it wasn't that big of a problem for me, but for others it could have been. But if you are later in the overworld, as long as you have your trusty bike, where did I put it? As long as you have your trusty bike, you can save everywhere, unless you are hunted. Yeah, you need like 5 seconds of stillness and then it's okay. But man, once you are in a mission, you can no longer quick save. Doesn't matter how many people you have killed, how far your progress is. You cannot save. And that is so annoying. Especially since it's something the game trains you to do. You know? Just save whenever you want. No consequences or yeah. And then it takes it away for you for multiple minutes at a time. Sure, the checkpoint system wasn't too bad, but like I said, I was trying to that I can just like here just hold R, and my progress is saved, done. And then I'm going into a sector where I'm supposed to fight multiple enemies, like numbers I have never dealt with before, and I'm not allowed to save. Or when I save, the enemies will respawn anyways. That is just a dynamic that I hate so much. And it was the worst in the last mission I did, the Killer Horde one. Each and every horde I did before, there was always this reset moment where the horde would just go back to the cave, or would just lose track of me in general. And I could just go to my bike, save my progress, and then deal with the rest of the horde, knowing that I don't have to deal with the entirety of the horde again. And then in that mission, it wasn't possible. And then I just started spamming my resources, and then all my resources were incredibly, yeah, they were just fucked for the next 2 hours. Man, I wasted like about half, maybe 2/3 of my explosives and molotovs.